what time it is. Buckle up and enjoy the ride.
And we are live. Greetings to our loyal WFYL listeners around the world. Welcome back to your Philadelphia live stream, only on the Freedom Station. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in once again, because you still have the right to hear and the right to be heard. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike G. As always, with me are Philly Chris, Russ the producer, and Liberty Lee. And you're listening to Mike G in the morning with The Law Matters. And you can listen to our program every Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern, only on the Freedom Station, WFYL. So let's be heard. I want to remind our listeners that you can participate in the free and open exchange of thoughts and ideas throughout the entire week by visiting MikeGinTheMorning.com. What's it called, Philly Chris?
MikeGinTheMorning.com.
How about you, Russ?
MikeGinTheMorning.com.
Liberty. Up, filling in for Liberty, we got John, the process server, DeBello. What's it called, John?
MikeGinTheMorning.com.
That is correct, sir. You can check out all the shenanigans that Mike G and Philly Chris are up to throughout the entire week and visit our social media profiles. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your barber, tell your Uncle Jerry, tell anybody who listen to check us out at MikeGinTheMorning.com. I also want to remind our listeners about the powerhouse lineup we've got here at the Freedom Station. Kick off your mornings with Scott Adams. Bring you the Scott Adams Show weekdays from 9 a.m. until 11. We've got Dan the Man Bongino. Bring you the Dan Bongino Show weekdays from noon until 3 p.m. We've got the headliner, intellectual giant Ben Shapiro. Bring you the Ben Shapiro Show weekdays from 3 to 5 p.m. And finally, we love having him at the Freedom Station family. We've got Michael Knowles. Bring you the Michael Knowles Show weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. So don't forget to tune in and show him some love. And with that, you know what time it is. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Hit it, Russ.
You know what time it is. Buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Let's give a couple of shout outs for those tuning in on our live stream. We've got DG checking in. Give her a hey now, Philly Chris.
Hey now, DG.
Hey now. Hey now. And thank you for the hot dog coupons. The Mike G in the Morning family received them as of late. Want to give DG a shout out and thank you. We've got Rita checking in. Give Rita hey now.
Rita, hey now. Hey now.
Hey now. We've got the Finisland checking in. Maybe appearing on the program. Give him a hey now.
Ladies and gentlemen, hey now, Definisland. Hey now.
We got Jeremy checking in. Give Jeremy a hey now.
Jeremy, hey now. Hey now.
Hey now. Thank you, everybody. We're going to kick off the episode with a very special segment of 2-Week-Old News with John. Why don't you bring that up, Russ?
Here we have it.
10 out of 10.
Oh my goodness, Russ, you are amazing. You know that? It only took you like 40 seconds to get the next slide up there.
Hey,
That was incredible. And I've been informed, if you're watching on the live stream, it says 2-Week-Old News with John, John. For those of us who are familiar, John's name is Jon. I've been informed that there was not a typographical error. Russ thought that Jonathan's stage name was John with an H. So that's what's going on here. He was under the impression that Jonathan has a stage name of John, John. You know, Russ, I'm really disappointed that our listeners missed out on the riveting discussion that we were having before we got on the air. You were explaining some things to us that were just quite fascinating. And you want to share that with our audience members?
I really don't.
Why? Why? Fascinating.
Because it's boring.
It was totally fascinating.
I got a new keyboard. That was the highlight of my week.
Yeah, well, that's pretty exciting stuff, man. I don't know why you think that would be boring.
Can we have a vote in the chat? Give a thumbs up if you think it's boring.
Yeah. Do you think Russ getting a new keyboard is boring?
You sound
Because
pretty exciting.
he took about 15 minutes to explain it to us in great detail.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
At the
I don't
time, it was
know.
very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike.
Can you
I
show us
thought you
what it
only
looks like,
explain
or-
things in great detail if they're, interesting to other people. Unless you were trying to torture us. Was that your intention, to torture us
Yes.
with a long, boring story about your keyboard?
Yes, I was trying to put you to sleep so I wouldn't have to do this tonight.
Gotcha.
Rita wants
that
to know
makes
what
a whole
kind of
lot more
keyboard it
sense.
is.
Rita says, "What kind of?" See, people are interested.
Yeah,
What kind
they're
of keyboard
interested,
is it?
man. Look at this.
Oh, for goodness sake. So it's a Red Dragon wireless backlit keyboard.
Sounds
Oh,
exciting.
I love those things. Those are amazing.
Mike, you have no idea.
I've always wanted one of those.
You always wanted a red dragon, Mike?
I always wanted a red dragon. Yeah,
That's just the brand.
it's been on my wish list for many years. How on earth did you get a hold of it?
I went to the keyboard store and bought it.
There's a store for
I
keyboards?
wasn't even aware there was a keyboard
Yeah.
store.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, where'd you
You
find?
can
Are, you,
get
are you the founder of the keyboard store?
Yeah, sure.
They sell anything else there?
Keyboard.
No, keyboards of all kinds.
Yeah.
They have a blue dragon?
No. Nope.
What about green dragons?
Green
Those
dragon.
don't exist. Those are a myth.
Only specifically red dragons. That's
Red
all.
dragon.
Yes. Yes.
Red
Gotcha.
Dragon.
No, I don't know what kind of keyboard store that is if they don't have a little bit of variety. It should be the Red Dragon keyboard store,
Hmm.
right? We sell
Yeah,
one thing.
Yeah.
Our keyboard store is almost like auto dealerships where you got to go to the Toyota to get Toyota. Yeah, you got to go to the
Yeah,
Red Dragon keyboard store.
No, actually, this one is one that the user can repair. You can buy caps, you can buy switches, you can do pretty much anything with these. Not true, Russ.
Like I said, fascinating. So you
Yeah.
folks didn't believe me when I told you that the keyboard talk was fascinating.
Riveting.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, as much as I'd love to spend another hour talking about your keyboard, we gotta get
I
the 2-week-old
wouldn't.
news with John. We gotta get the 2-week-old news with John. John, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What do you got on tap here for us?
Well, for one, happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day.
John with 2-week-old news wishes everybody a happy Mother's Day. So,
Mother's
what do people have to be aware of? What are some of the stories?
Well, for
Hot
one,
off the
Tucker
presses.
Carlson got fired from Fox.
No way.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of town.
Get out of town. That's crazy.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? We got breaking 2-week-old news.
So is that
Tucker Carlson has been fired from the Fox News program. What else we got, John?
The Title 42 immigration policy has been lifted.
Oh,
okay?
that's another one. Let me
Yeah.
ask you this, Philly Chris: is that 2-week-old news or news to you?
That was news. No, 2-week-old news. I mean, the Tucker thing was news to me, though. I had no idea about that.
You had no idea. You're just finding out about
Oh.
this. You just thought he was on a really long vacation.
Yeah, I was like, why is my DVR recording something else every week?
Or you thought Tucker looked different.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, he got some work done, just like Joe.
How about you, Russ? Is that 2-week-old news or news to you? Title 42.
That's 2-week-old news.
2-week-old news. Gotcha. All right. What else we got, John?
The turnup is no longer a global health issue.
Oh,
I'm not sure about
Hey,
that.
See, I'm not sure about that. What do you got to say about that, Philly Chris?
I don't know. It looks like things are happening again over in China. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It looks like there's something going on.
And it was the WHO that says this.
The WHO.
Although this is
says that
2-week-old
turnup-
news, so
Who?
This is
Maybe
this
two-
2-week-old news.
2 weeks from now, he can report that the pandemic start 2 started. We'll see.
It's back in business.
Yeah, back in business. Yeah, reopening for business. We'll see.
Back in business.
Yeah.
Now, has it been a global health concern prior to 2 weeks ago?
I would say no.
Is it just that the 2-week-old news is that WHO took their position that the tournament
Exactly.
is no longer a global issue, right? That's probably the 2-week-old news.
Right.
Yes, that's correct.
It's certainly not been treated like a global health issue for more than 2 weeks. Is that fair to say?
That's very fair to say.
I mean, have you been to any places lately that require you to wear a potato on your face? Required, not optional. Every place you go to says that it's optional, right?
Well,
Have you been to any
with-
places where it's mandatory lately?
Well, with my job, I think they changed it just recently, but a lot of medical facilities still require the potato.
Interesting. How about you, Philly
And
Chris?
I always keep forgetting to bring one, but luckily they have a bunch of potatoes right at the front.
Yeah.
they got a whole sack of potatoes waiting
Yeah.
for you.
They got them free and ready for you.
What-
I've been to quite a few places in the city recently, but I haven't had anybody like try to force me to wear one or really seen any signs that said it was fully required. Even at some medical facilities I was at recently, it seemed like it was still optional. Yeah.
Optional. A
Yeah.
suggestion more than anything else.
But maybe that'll change again. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe they'll try to push it on people again. Be interesting to see if things do kick off again, how people will respond the second time around. Yeah.
Yeah, that will be definitely interesting.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I think that's ultimately it because I don't think we're going to see the same response as last time.
No,
Oh, no.
I don't think so.
If they said, hey, it's gotten really bad, we're going to have to do some lockdowns. I can't see everybody just going along with it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And that being the end of that.
Right.
There's going to be a lot more pushback than there was the first time around, especially even at the outset, because at the outset of the last one, it seemed that it was somewhat mild, the pushback. And then as time went on and the time frame got longer and longer and these restrictions were, persisting and they weren't being let up, that's when people started to really give some resistance. So
Yeah.
after going through all that and finding out that certain things were perhaps not necessary or true, I
Mhm.
think that people will be a lot less trusting and willing to go along with whatever plan is suggested to be put in place.
Absolutely.
We do have different leadership at the federal level, right?
True.
So
True.
I don't
True.
know what impact that will have
True.
on people.
Only time.
All
will
right.
tell,
Well,
I
thank you
suppose,
for
yeah.
that update, John. Is there any other 2-week-old news that we need to be aware
Oh,
of?
yeah. Mr. Joe Biden's aides find second set of classified papers.
Oh, the second set.
Oh no! Did they?
A lot can happen in a few weeks.
They did.
Oh man, we got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else, John?
Last thing is FAA alert system glitch delays U.S. flights.
Oh,
Oh, that is
Yeah.
actually news to me. I don't know that I was aware
Same
of that
here.
story. How about you, Chris?
I did not hear about that one either.
Hmm.
Yeah. How about that? John
Yeah.
bringing us
Oh.
real news. I like it.
Wasn't there some kind of major issue with the flights at some point, not 2 weeks ago, but a while ago, where they were starting to talk about the leadership that was in place and question whether people were qualified, and they were asking one of the leaders a question at one of the congressional hearings, and he kept saying, "I don't know, I'm not a pilot."
Oh yeah, right.
remember that?
Yeah. I think that was the guy they were looking to bring on board as the NTSB guy or whatever.
So he
agency it
wasn't
is,
he
yeah.
wasn't there already.
I don't think
Gotcha.
so, but yeah, that was pretty interesting because he didn't know some of the real basic, things, regarding that role and responsibility and just basic knowledge at all about aviation. So yeah, I don't know why you'd put somebody in that
Everything's
role.
fine. This
Yeah.
is
yeah.
has
it's
it
fine.
come to a point with this administration though that this kind of thing is just par for the course, where things have gotten so bad in so many different areas that you hear something like this that would normally be a big deal, and it's just like, listen, man, we got 99 other things we're concerned about right now.
I'm pretty sure they had to hire Russ as a producer.
Don't worry about it, that we got these glitches going on. That's the least of our problems. Don't bother us at that.
Right. You know?
We got Phil checking in. Give Phil a hey now, Philly Chris. Give him a
Hey now, Phil. Hey now. Welcome to the show.
John, why don't you give Phil a hey now? Special guest.
Hey now.
There you go. What is that? The delayed hey now?
2-week-old hey now.
2-week-old hey now.
2-week-old hey now.
It took him 2 weeks to give us a hey now.
Where's Philip from?
What else we got? We got anything else on the docket, John?
That's looks like it's it for right now.
All right. Well, I brought you in. We brought you in not only for the beloved 2-week-old news segment that everybody looks forward to, but there was also a story in the news about how they're having problems serving Shaquille O'Neal with this lawsuit regarding FTX. Have you heard about that, John?
Oh yeah, I have.
So, what's your take on that? Because I know that you've had to serve quite a few people. Are you allowed to talk about who you've served? Because I know that there's one very high-profile figure that you were tasked with serving sometime. Are you allowed to say that, or is that something that you got to keep confidential?
I think I can mention something about that.
Okay, why don't you tell us a little bit about one of your high-profile serves in Delaware?
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you this. I don't think I should mention the name, but
okay.
This was like maybe a year ago. I had to go to a house. We'll just say it's a high political figure. I had to go to a house that had Secret Service agents. I pull in, and I learned the hard way: do not get out of the car when you pull up on service.
You start running after.
So you pull in your Crown Vic right onto the property of the Secret Service agents there?
Oh yeah, I thought they have when you pull into this driveway, they have a shack on the right. It looks like a regular house, except they have this shack for the Secret Service, and then there's two. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's two Chevy Impalas right next to the guardhouse, and then there was two more on the other side of this driveway. I go to the guy, and these guys aren't in like suit and ties like you see in movies with the sunglasses. These guys were actually looked like plainclothes cops.
Really?
And the guy, I go up to the guy and tell him who I'm there to serve. He basically, at first he said, "You better get the F out of here."
That's the Secret Service.
I'm not going to argue with the Secret Service. So I go back to my car, but then he comes up to the car and he basically told me, "Don't ever get out of the car when you pull up," because apparently they have a procedure in Washington, D.C. to where the guys will just pull up and then they get approached. But apparently, needless to say, they would not let me any further than that driveway.
Gotcha.
So it ended up being what we call.
You said they have a procedure. I thought you were going to say they have a procedure where they shoot you if you get out of the car.
Sorry about that. We're gonna.
I wasn't about to find out.
Yeah.
Our procedure is that we shoot you if you get out of the car.
It sounds like you might have been in Delaware, but I don't know if you can work in Delaware. Can you? Or...
Oh yeah, I can.
Oh, you can. Okay. I mean, I'm just guessing, taking some wild stabs at it.
Wild guess.
Yeah.
Wild guess.
Interesting.
Yeah, high-profile political figure.
Were you ever able to serve it, or I would imagine that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
They wouldn't even give me any information. I had to write it up as a non-serve, unfortunately.
Did you consider hopping the fence at all or anything? Or
I don't
Phil
think
says you should have
would
just
be here today if he did that.
Dress up like UPS.
Phil says you should have just hung out at the ice cream shop. Phil says if you would have just hung out at the ice cream shop, you would have been able to serve the guy. That's all. That's what you got to do next time. So do you have to get creative to serve people sometimes?
Once in a blue moon, but it's very rare.
Most of them,
I get
plain
some
running
very
mill serves.
I get very strange requests sometimes, especially when it's non-attorneys that request it.
So there would be a non-attorney requesting that you serve something?
Sometimes, like if it's like a divorce situation or a child custody situation, which I'm gonna
And what kind of
probably bring
requests
that
would they
one
have?
up when we talk about the Shaquille O'Neal thing. That's
Okay.
gonna
Well,
play
you
into
said you
that.
get some strange requests. What kinds of requests would those be?
Well, one I actually turned down because
I want you
we
to dress up in a lobster suit when you serve the person.
no this one this
They're
This
afraid
guy
of
was supposed-
lobsters. See,
this guy was supposed to like give a presentation on stage. At some type of conference. The wife basically wanted me to specifically embarrass him.
oh, like serve him while he's in the middle of
Oh.
a presentation.
Yeah, but we got a little code of ethics we follow. There's certain things we're just not going to do. Like we're there just to notify people that they have a proceeding against them. We're not there to embarrass them or.
So you went in and screamed across the whole thing and said, "I'll be out here. I got paperwork for you."
There you go. Ended up not,
You're
using
about to get divorced.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy, I got some papers for you. Your wife found out about the side piece.
There you go.
Your wife found out that you don't participate in a bowling league at all.
Wink, wink. Yeah, could be pretty embarrassing.
So you just go over, you're professional about it, and you serve them. So let's talk a little bit about Shaquille O'Neal. The articles that I saw said that they've been having a difficult time getting him served for this lawsuit. I know that he was doing commentary for some of the NBA playoff games and was in the arena, and there were people trying to get up to him, and security got involved and everything like that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, John?
Well, I had a similar case. I don't remember. This was a former basketball player. And no, it wasn't Shaquille O'Neal. I can tell you that.
Wasn't Shaquille O'Neal.
But this one was a Murphy's Law situation. It was one of them. It was, I could tell you this much. It was at the AC Convention Center in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And
yeah, I don't think that spoils anything because there are tons and tons and tons of former pro basketball players who have done.
But it was a sports person convention. It was like everyone under the sun was there. Everyone from Floyd Mayweather to other baseball players, and you could basically go up, get an autograph. Basically, the arrangement was to go up and try and serve the guy, because in situations like this where it's a public place, you have to serve the person personally. You can't just leave it with his staff. Like if it's a public place like that, you have to serve them personally. But
hey, Iverson, would you mind giving me your autograph?
Yeah, is that how you were going to do it? Did you have to get a ticket and wait online?
Can you sign this for me?
But,
you've been served.
Is that how it was?
Does he have it?
Ticket and wait online?
I don't remember the guy's name. This was a guy that was on the team like 20 years ago or something.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But,
You don't have to tell us who it was, but did you have to get a ticket and wait online? And when you get to the front of the line,
that was the intention, but Murphy's Law hit on that one big time.
Oh,
when I was on my way
What
there,
happened?
there was a major accident on the 42 freeway where I was stuck in traffic for literally 2 hours.
ouch.
I get there, the guy's gone.
Oh, so it never happened.
It never happened. Murphy's Law hit because there was a major accident. I guess somebody must have gotten killed or something.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Not good.
Yeah,
So how would you serve Shaquille O'Neal?
With a ladder.
The latter. Well, it depends on where we're serving him at. If we're serving him at his residence, you go up to the little box, because a lot of these celebrities have the gated fences to where you pull up to the gate, you hit the doorbell on the box. You say, I have legal documents for Shaquille O'Neal. They'll tell you either A, he's not there, B, we're not accepting it, C, depending on the situation, somebody might come out and accept it.
Hmm.
But the thing is, Pennsylvania, for one, you can serve anybody that's in charge of the residents, quote unquote. But that doesn't work in most states or federal. Those, it has to be somebody at least living there. So that's a problem. Even if it's a worker, like a housekeeper, you can't. In most situations, you're probably not going to be able to serve them. So it's either A, you have to go back, or B, it's the thing is with these celebrities too, a lot of them aren't home a lot. They could be anywhere at any time.
Yep.
Right.
Like I've actually had to serve a DJ or try to serve a DJ just like that.
Yeah, good luck with
DJ.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a DJ
You
that
serve
went
DG?
around.
You serve
Say
DG?
again?
You serve DG?
DJ. No, DJ. I know how you serve a DJ. What you'll do is you get a bag of ecstasy pills, and then
There you go.
you kind of lead them like a breadcrumb trail
Right.
from where they are all the way out to the hallway. And when they get to the final one, you serve them. You pop
There
out
you
and you
go.
serve them. What do you think of that?
They'll be happy about it.
Here's
what's
what I
up?
would do with Shaquille O'Neal. With Shaquille O'Neal, you put a basketball and then you get a huge like fishing net and prop it up so that way you set it up like a booby trap. When he tries to pick up the basketball, the net falls over, and then he's in one place so you could serve him. What do you think?
Nice.
I actually saw in the article that you were looking at that they threw the papers at him as he was driving away.
Oh wow!
But that's kind of, but this is where lawyer up and shut up comes in. By them saying that in the article, they're kind of admitting essentially that they
He
know
was
what
on
the
notice.
paperwork was.
Gotcha. So
That's why you lawyer up and shut up. It would have been better not to even mention it. We don't know what he gave me, but
right.
they admitted to already knowing what it is.
Do you take pictures or video?
We've got somebody else who's going to participate in the process server conversation. We've got Definisland, also
Nice.
familiar with the process serving industry. Definisland, you with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
So we want your take on this. Would you agree with John? How do you serve Shaquille O'Neal?
Well, you got to consider that he's got bodyguards too. I mean, maybe stand in line and try to get an autograph and just hand him the papers.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I mean,
Have you had to try to get creative on some of your serves?
I have. I just served somebody last night. And it was pretty interesting, actually. It was a bartender. And I had to wait for her to finish up serving some other customers. And once she finally came up, I just said, "Hey, are you Aaron?" Whatever her name is. Almost said her name. And she said, "Yeah." And I pull them out of the back pocket and I slide them to her. But the funny part about the whole thing is there was a couple that I'm aware of that were in the bar that know me. And they were both married and they were cheating with each other.
Oh no. Two couples married cheating on each other.
They thought that their
Whoa.
their
thought what?
spouses were actually hiring me to watch them.
Oh,
they-
wow.
oh,
So
man.
you-
They thought their spouses. Yeah, they were getting all panicky. I got a bunch of phone calls afterwards.
That's funny, man. They
But,
must have been freaking out. And then were they relieved when you served the bartender?
Well, no, because
Yeah.
then he went over to them and said, when they called him afterwards, he said, "Yeah, I could shut up for $100,000."
Yeah.
For $100,000, I never saw
You
you.
know,
there.
one of the things that I like to do is I take the papers and I'll put them in like a manila envelope and I'll label it up with the person's name on it. So a
Oh,
lot of times, if you're standing there at the door with papers in your hand, they won't answer it, right? And sometimes I'll put it in a package, like a U.S. priority mailbox, with their name on it and everything. And man, some people, they see a package coming, they're like, they answer the door right away.
Amazon brought my press-on nails.
You
yeah.
know, and trying to be as politically correct as I possibly can, in certain neighborhoods, they don't answer the door for Caucasian men.
That's true.
So
Ah.
when you're holding a package, they come right to the door and open it. You know?
Interesting.
Inside
And-
secrets here. Nice.
One other time I can tell you I had a very difficult serve, and I dressed up like Santa Claus on Christmas morning.
No.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Actually, I actually dressed up as Santa Claus. I served them.
What about a pizza box? Couldn't you do that? Like put it in a pizza box and knock on the door? And...
I guess if you're serving Russ, you do that, right?
What about what
Yeah.
I always thought would be funny is if you did like the Publishers Clearinghouse thing. You show up with one of
Mm.
those big cardboard checks and some balloons.
Oh, they would freak out. Imagine
Right?
that.
Oh,
You got one of the big
you
checks
know
and
what?
the balloons.
You know what, Mike? I had another one. Now you're making me bring back old years ago. I had a guy that was essentially homeless, right? And he was living with some people, and I did a little like background on him and found out that he had been active with this church. So I was able to get a phone number for him, and I told him that like I was this charitable organization that knew that he was down on his luck, and we wanted to deliver him a box of food. And he was so excited. He was so excited to get this food. So I literally went to one of the cheapy grocery stores, and I spent $20, but I loaded it up with like ramen noodles and bread and canned goods. Like the guy made out big time. So I kept the papers under the box, and when I handed him the box of food, he had both hands on the box, and then I pulled the papers out from underneath and slammed them on top and said, "You're served."
That's pretty good.
Well, it was nice of you to at least follow through with the promise to get him a bunch of food, right?
Mhm.
That was at least the kind-hearted thing to do.
True.
If you're gonna have to serve the guy, then at least you help him out in that regard. I hope nobody was trying to
But
sue him or anything like that.
John's the professional process server. He does a lot of work. He's done some work for me in faraway places. So I give him tons of credit. He's very good at what he does.
Oh, well, that's very, very kind of you. We've got
Very
good
nice.
things to say about him as well. It's good to hear from different perspectives.
Thank you,
how-
Definitive Land.
Welcome.
Good to hear from different perspectives how
I didn't
these
mean
things
to, I didn't
get
mean to
done.
take your I didn't mean to take any light off you, John. But
No, you didn't take no light off of me. Gary knows what he's doing too.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear different perspectives on how people would do this because there's more than one way to skin a cat, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
you know
enjoy
what
the
else a lot-
creative ones.
Just stay away from my cats.
Don't skin your cats.
Don't skin. don't skin
Please
his.
don't skin anybody's cats.
You can feed them, just don't skin them.
I have. It sounds like you do have some interesting stories, but the majority of them just stuff that really wouldn't make for good TV. Because I feel like the things that we see on TV are perhaps over exaggerated, kind of like the way you're watching a lawyer show, and it's like, well, it doesn't exactly work that way. That's a little far fetched.
Well, like most of the time, I don't like. For example, big examples like when a lot of times when you see it on TV, they'd be like, "You're served."
Mm.
Hand you the papers, or sometimes I'll hand you an envelope and they'll say, "You're served."
To make like a dramatic
very
moment.
rarely, if ever. Well, I did do that the other night, though.
Oh yeah, why? They piss you off?
Sort of, but I'm not surprised because this particular document was a lien, which means basically the only thing that's happening is some of your properties about to be separated from you.
Interesting.
So the lady answers the door. I already had a picture of her, so I already knew what she looked like.
Mm.
She didn't deny who she was, but then as soon as I was telling her what it was, she's like, "Oh, I don't want to discuss this." And then she goes to close the door, and then there's a table right there. I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm going to leave the papers right out on this table." She's like, "No, take them back." I'm like, "Sorry, ma'am, I can't take them back. They're being served on you." Walking away.
And then you had your shades on. You're like, you have been served. and
I think my
then,
shades might have been on the whole time, but
and then the theme song from Shaft started playing while we walked away. Well, you know that John, the process server, he's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
You need some background music. That'd be funny.
but I'm gonna have a story also about.
You've been served.
But going back to the shack story, I have a served. Remember when we were talking about how they threw the papers at the guy's car?
Yes.
Well, I have a sort of a crazy story. It wasn't involving a car exactly. This was a it was some form of custody petition out of the state of Ohio being served in Lancaster County.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, make long story short, the woman wouldn't let the guy see his kids. They were graduating from high school, and he wasn't allowed there. Well, knowingly, he wasn't allowed there. There would have been some drama if he showed up.
Gotcha.
But we were having a hard time getting this lady served. We were only going to her house, so he finds out his kids are graduating. So he meets me he drives from Ohio and meets me all the way in Lancaster County. He drives with me to the place where they're having the graduation. I have him sit there, and the plan is for him to point her out to me. We wait. It wasn't super long. He points her out. So I go, tell him to stay in the car, and I go make my move, and then I call her by name. She responds. I tell her what I have, and then she's like, "Oh, you have to make an appointment with me." She was
Make an appointment.
Ma'am, it does not work that way. I told her I'm trying to be nice about it. I'm not trying to be nasty, but as I'm talking to you, you're already served the document, so it's a matter of whether you take them or not. And it's either A, you're gonna. She proceeds to keep walking away from me as I'm talking to her. I'm like, either A, I strongly suggest you take these documents because there may be some confidential information in there, or I'm gonna have no choice but to leave them on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Make long story short, I had to leave them on the ground. She just would not take them.
Wow. And
Yeah.
then all of her bank accounts got hacked. And they had all kinds of mortgages taken out in her name because her name, date of birth, and social were in the petition.
I tried everything I could. I normally I would have just been like, I wouldn't have been nothing just to leave them because a lot of times they don't have as much confidential information. But this was well, I wouldn't say a custody battle. The guy was trying to get damages because she prohibited him from seeing his kids for no justifiable reason.
Interesting.
Even though the kids were now like adult age because they were graduating high school.
Oh, wow.
Phil wants to know, have you ever run into someone later on in public that you've previously served? So like you serve the person and then you're out in public and then you run into that same person that you've served.
Believe it or not, no.
How about you, Defenders Land?
No. But I've had some dangerous situations.
What do you got?
I was wondering if John's ever had any dangerous situations. Well, one time I served this woman, and she tried to push me down the steps. And what I did in that situation was I went to the police station and I filed an incident report, and I attached it to the affidavit so the judge would see it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's interesting.
That works.
Did you end up having to fly against her?
No, they never called me in. But I had another situation where I served a guy in a dog bite case. He was the owner of the dog, and he lived in one of those, those old factories downtown that convert into like apartment buildings. And I was waiting for him the whole time to come out because I figured he was going to walk the dog, and he never came out. So I buzzed his door, and he, answered it on an intercom, and I just said I have a delivery, and he buzzed me in. So I walked into the building and went down this long hallway, and when he opened the door, I served him, and he got so mad, right? And he's like, "You're a part of this. You're a part of this," yelling and screaming at me, and I just said, sir, I'm not a part of it. I just delivered it, the news. I said, have a good day. You're served. And then I started walking away to leave the building, and I could hear him running after me. I could hear his footsteps coming after me. And I look back, and this guy is like bright red, and he's got his fist raised like he's getting ready to throw a hard punch at me. So I start running a little faster down the hallway, and just before we get to the door, he tripped. And I literally heard the air come out of his chest. Like it was like, and I swear to God, I think God intervened in that situation.
Wow.
That's pretty funny.
I really believe God intervened.
Well, I was going to make some joke about you giving him both middle fingers as the elevator doors are closing and he's on the ground looking up at you. But now that you brought God's intervention into it, I don't think that would be right. I'm not going to say that.
Well, I probably shouldn't have kicked his dog either, but
I almost caught you, though. I was a few feet away from you.
Perhaps you regret that. What do we got going on over here?
Oh, my goodness. Too funny.
Interesting. Wow. Wild stories. John, how about you? Have you been in danger?
Very, very rarely, but I mean, I've had a couple incidents. I've had guys come out with guns and
Okay.
nobody.
That's it. No big deal. He's like, not really. Just had a guy try to shoot me in the head a couple of times.
Just a gun.
That's
Well, he would have had the wrong guy, but yeah.
What happened?
Well, there was one.
I got Russ trying to tell us about like keyboards in great detail and stuff. His story about how he went to the keyboard store. You got a story about somebody comes out with a gun when you're trying to serve them with papers, and you're like reluctant to tell us, like it's not exciting enough or something like that.
Well, there was two of them. Once they found out what I was there for, no one ever pointed anything at me because that would have ended differently.
Mhm.
But two of them, as soon as I found out why I was there, who I was, they were friendly about it. They took the papers, and there was no issue. But there was a third incident. It was a notice of sheriff sale all the way up in the Poconos, Monroe County. I go up to his house. Now, when I go up to this house, see, the houses up there are kind of built a strange way. You know the sliding glass doors that are normally on the back porch?
Mhm.
A lot of people there have those sliding glass doors as their front door.
Really?
Okay.
It's kind of strange. So I go up to this door, but as I'm looking in, all the lights are on. I see a big wad of cash just sitting out in the open with car keys and other stuff. But don't pay attention to it. I knock on the door. All of a sudden, all the lights go out. And this big dude just comes up to the door in his bathrobe. Pink bathrobe at that.
Were you at Defenders Land?
I tell him why I'm there.
I would have been wearing my fuzzy bunny slippers.
Now you gave it away that he lives in the Poconos.
Yeah, right. That's right. Sorry about that.
But yeah, the guy I tell him he acts like he got mad because I was there at 7:30 at night. Then he tells me to
way
leave
past his bedtime.
Apparently. So then he tells me to leave his property. So then he runs to the back of his house. He's doing that, I'm hearing like stuff like move around and stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to stick around to see what he's grabbing. So I get into my car. I had to turn around because of the way the driveway was situated. It was kind of a narrow driveway, but there was just enough room to where by the time I had the car fully turned around, I can't prove that he had a weapon because he had something behind his back. But then, now mind you, I didn't know who he was at the time, but you can pretty much assume who he was. We found out later it was the guy I was looking for, but
Gotcha.
the guy comes out, he's like, and then I kind of question him a little more as I'm in the car, but the car's in drive, so just in case. And then I had my own firearm on my leg,
Mhm.
where you couldn't see it, but just in case, God forbid, it
He
went
starts
down.
shooting at you. Yeah.
Exactly. I was ready. So
Right.
then
Yeah.
he still wouldn't identify himself. He basically said, "Oh, next time you better come back armed."
Oh.
Well, I got news for you, my friend.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
tell him
came
that. I
this
didn't want to
time
escalate
on.
the situation.
Yeah, no, you did the right
So
thing.
then
yeah.
I told him, "Hey, there's papers for I forget. I don't even remember the dude's name anyway. But
Yeah. Well, we can't
Philip-
say it.
I
Well,
told him
Philip
as
has
I'm
his name
driving
in the
off, I'm like,
comments.
well, I'm leaving these papers here, and I like hit the gas.
Philip said in
Ah.
the comments it was Harvey Weinstein. So
It's Harvey Weinstein showing up with the with the pink
We
bathrobe.
found out later this was actually a bad dude too. He was actually was busted in Miami airport. for
oh,
Yeah. Well,
smuggling
we
drugs.
understand that he went to jail for all kinds of sex crimes in New York, right? Harvey Weinstein.
hey, John from 2 Week Old News. I hear you're here to audition.
Yeah, did he offer you a movie role of any
Right.
kind?
Come on into the casting couch.
He's like, hey, I only brought the gun out because I wanted to see your scared face because we're really looking for somebody to play a scared guy in this
Yeah.
upcoming film.
You did well. Come on in the house.
I'll give him the Rock's people's eye. I
It
can't do it,
wasn't Ron Jeremy, was it?
but
You never know. Could have been.
That's a crazy story. Is that really the worst one as far as being in danger?
well, I've had a couple, maybe
somebody
one or two in North
threaten to-
Philly, like yell at
Didn't
me.
somebody
but-
call the courthouse and threaten to execute you?
Oh yeah, that happened too.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Just another random event.
They didn't know who I was, but it was a guy with a wooden leg.
Man with the wooden legs.
Just a
Well, that's how I
courthouse.
was able to identify him because this was actually a one of them contractor cases to where they didn't finish the job and they ripped them off.
Gotcha.
His first name wasn't Neil, was it?
Neil.
No.
It might have been.
Yeah, but this guy calls the courthouse and demands to know my name and wants to execute the server.
Wow. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
always good
said
to
he
call
was
the
good.
courthouse and announce that you want to commit felonies and stuff and kill people.
But problem was, it
Well,
was a New Jersey
apparently-
case and he was served in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
So it kind of complicated things as far as doing anything about it.
Hmm.
Problem was, nobody knew.
Not really. They just didn't feel like doing anything about it.
That's true. Delaware
Jeez.
County, unless they see it happening, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about
Even
all
though
that.
the evidence was
I've-
presented right to them.
Yeah, I've done quite a few Delaware County cases. It seems like they just pick it out of a hat, which when they feel like prosecuting sometimes. But, wow, what a word to use too, right? Who says that? I'm gonna execute the guy.
That's angry talk right there.
Is it?
Yeah, he was angry because he got
Yeah.
caught. You should like some of the reviews of this guy. I actually was just curious and actually looked at a lot of people gave him negative reviews, like he would intimidate people to try and keep jobs.
Get
They
out of
decide
town.
not to
I
use
thought he
him.
would have been. I would have thought he would be excellent at customer service.
Nice guy.
I'm very surprised.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, he had a
I can
plan for you.
execute-
It's like I'm gonna
I
tie
can
him up.
execute the perfect kitchen. He can execute the perfect kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
He can execute the perfect kitchen.
That's what his
Has
business
anybody
card.
has anybody threatened to execute you, Definitive Land?
No, I had a girl. She kind of chased me and was kicking my car as I was driving away
Hmm.
because one of the techniques that I use is I fold up the papers into a little square, and I hand it to them. And as they're unraveling it, I'll take my phone out real quick and take a picture of them. And she was all
Wow.
upset. You can't take my picture, you know. And
If you're in a public place, that's done.
right, exactly. So obviously she didn't know that, and yeah, I got in the car and she's kicking my car as I'm going down the street.
Nice.
How would they think that you get the pictures in the paper of like Paris Hilton or whoever if you can't take somebody's picture in public?
Yeah, exactly.
There are people
Yeah.
who literally make a living out of taking pictures of
Right.
famous people in public.
You haven't heard, Mike? They're actually wanted for all that.
They're every
Glad you're
single
looking for them.
paparazzi. Yeah.
It's a
the paparazzi
constitutional
do.
right under the
Mhm.
First Amendment.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Filming in public, baby.
So make sure you look your best in public.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you never know when John's going to show up or Definitive shows up and snaps a picture of it.
You never know.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Make sure you have your robe and funny bunny slippers on.
The pink robe at that.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the craziest thing that somebody's done to try to avoid being served? Maybe not being confrontational, but what's the craziest thing somebody's done to try to avoid being served? Because they
Just,
seem to think that anything goes as far as avoidance, right?
Well, they can avoid all they want. Like if worst
Did the
case-
one guy say you got the wrong guy with the wooden leg? Oh no, that's the other.
Yeah,
This
that's-
isn't for me.
But I'm like, well, I'm just gonna leave these papers right here because even if it wasn't him, it's still an adult in charge of the residence.
Mhm.
And he's like,
But I already
oh,
knew
no,
it was
no,
him
that guy.
because what are the
That guy's
odds
got
that
a
there'd be
wooden
somebody
leg.
else with
Mine's
a
made
wooden
out
leg?
of mine's made out of composite. That's a different guy.
You got the
Totally
wrong
wrong guy.
Yeah. Come back later.
Looking for the guy with the wooden leg, but I got the fiberglass leg.
I'm like, well, I have to leave these here, and there was like it was kind of weird, like the setup, because I guess he couldn't come to the door, so I'm like, you're really not supposed to walk in, but I walked like at the edge of the door, like where, like I didn't like completely break the threshold. There was like a couch like right up against it. I just put it like right on top of there.
Nice.
So you entered the home of the man who would one day threaten to execute you. Is that correct?
I guess you can say that.
It sounds better.
Would you
that
say it's a bad move on the list of bad moves, perhaps?
way.
Probably.
Hey, John, do you get like an adrenaline rush every time you get ready to go to a door? Because I kind of do. Like I get like really pumped up and my hands start shaking. I don't know why it happens, but then once I serve them, it just dissipates and like a calm comes over me.
Wow.
It depends, I would say. If I get intel like the guy's going to give you a hard time or stuff like that, I mean, a little bit, but most of the time it's kind of routine to me, really. I mean, I just follow precautions. I stand like if you're looking at a door, now where the handle is, say if the handle's on the left-hand side, I'll stand to the left-hand side too, so that they, number one, have to open the door all the way up instead of like cracking the door.
Ah, yeah.
And I stand back a little bit. I stand back, I wouldn't say like about 6 to 9 feet, so that I can look at the windows at the same time too.
Good idea.
Yeah, I do that. I look at the windows. Yeah, because
Wow.
they'll peek
I
out.
wonder if it's a thing with birthdays. Is it a matter of, because Definitive Land, how long have you been serving papers?
Oh, geez, 33 years.
Did we lose him?
Wow.
Oh,
33
so
years.
it's certainly not a matter of
33.
So with 33 years under your belt, you know, it would seem like that's a lot of times to do something and still have that same reaction. Maybe it's something with your personality, but you know, some people, when they get that sort of reaction, they actually perform better, right? You hear about ball players and stuff like that, they get into that zone and it helps them perform at a higher level. Would you say that has something to do with your success in your field?
I certainly feed off of it. You know, like it's my heart starts pounding, and you know, like I get like, because you don't know what's going to come to that door.
That's true.
You know, you're always anticipating. Like I'm always anticipating the worst, but 99.9% of the time, it's not the worst. You know what I mean? But you can get that one person that just comes out that door and starts swinging and punching. You know, and you got to be ready for it. So you got to be alert. You know,
At
so
least you're
the
ready
package,
for it, I guess. Yeah.
when I do the envelope or the package thing, they just think it's an envelope. You know, they don't know they're being served. I just say, "Oh, this is for you," and I seal it with like real thick tape. So it takes some time to open it. So by the time they open it, I'm already in the car and gone.
Mm.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's helpful.
Good idea.
Yes, now I do get like that when I do a posting where I have to tape it to the door and take a photo. I mean, a regular house, I can just sneak up and tape it, take the picture, and walk away. I had a house the other day to where it was a windy driveway up a hill. So there was no element of surprise at all.
Mm.
Wow.
But I got lucky. There was nobody there.
Gotcha.
Was it vacant or was
It
somebody
actually
just not
was
home?
vacant, it turns out, because I actually
was
found the
vacant.
mailbox thing from where they post the mailboxes. And
Okay.
everything looked disheveled and all that. But once I got to the house, I'm like, okay, good.
Mm. That's cool.
You know,
But that's it.
you know what I'll do sometimes too, John. Like if you get to like an area where it's like a cul-de-sac and it's kind of an upper class neighborhood, you know all the neighbors, they know all the cars. You know, so I'll like park in front of their driveway, long ways, so kind of blocking the driveway, and then I'll honk the horn a couple times to announce that I'm there. You know, and then I'll put the hazard lights on. You know, so they look out the window, they see it's blinking, and then they see me walking up. You know, and they're a little bit. You know, I'm broadcasting myself to the whole neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. So you're obviously not up to no good.
Hiding in plain sight kind of thing.
There you go.
Right.
Mm. You're a ninja.
Yeah. That is
Liberty
neat.
had a
Yeah,
question for you guys in the comments. Liberty says, I have a question for you both. Do you like process serving or PI work better?
Well,
I feel I'm more experienced with process serving, but I mean, there's another thing I like to do. I can't really go into too much detail because of confidentiality, but I've done undercover work before too. That gets your adrenaline pumping
Yeah,
because
that's cool.
you're trying to blend in sometimes to places you're not really going to blend into.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like both, but I like doing PI work better because essentially what I'm doing, and I think John would agree to this, is that we're providing truth, whether it's visual truth or tracking somebody down. That a lot of times my lawyer clients lose their customers. These people change their phone numbers, they change their address, and they need to get in contact with them. So they'll say, hey, can you track her down or him down and, let her know that she needs to call the office. And sometimes it takes some pretty unique digging to find these people, whether it's computer digging or actually going out there and knocking on doors and talking to people where she may have lived, their family members.
That's entirely true too.
So I do enjoy the investigative work more than the process serving, but I do love process.
Do you get a
serving
lot
as
of people call you up? They want to catch their significant other cheating?
Not really. I would say that's maybe like 5% of my work. Most of my work is insurance work and legal work. From attorneys, defense attorneys. But I work both sides of the
So,
coin.
where somebody's claiming that they're hurt and you catch them out playing tennis?
Correct. Mowing the lawn, chopping wood, driving lawn tractors.
Do you ever ask them to
snow.
do something physical? Like you dress up like an old man in a walker and you're like, excuse me, son, could you carry this box for me?
No, never did that. I thought about flattening somebody's tire one time, a long time ago. But honestly, it would be so unethical for somebody to do something like that. I wouldn't feel comfortable in my own heart to set somebody up.
Gotcha. So that to catch them out
Now-
there changing the tire.
That could backfire. They'll call AAA and change the tire.
Yeah.
I changed my own tire though.
Somebody else had a good question.
Out of the ones who do have the cheating spouses, how often do you come back and it's unfounded?
I would say maybe like 50-50. See, when people come to an investigator to hire us to look into see if their spouses are cheating. They typically already know in their own heart what's going on. They just
Gotcha.
need that. They just need that, like the video proof, so that they can move on with their life. And you know what I mean? Like they just need to see it for themselves.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I don't know. I would actually prefer doing child custody cases rather than the cheating spouse stuff, because the cheating spouse stuff can get ugly.
But the custody cases, you're basically trying to find evidence that somebody's an unfit parent and it's not
Well,
in
it
the
could
best
be a
interest of the
variety.
child for them to be there.
It could be a variety of reasons. Sometimes the court will tell one parent they have to be supervised by a specific adult. So they might say to dad, you can see the child on Saturday between 12 p.m. and 5 p.m., but your parents have to be with you. And so what will happen is the parents will come with him at the pickup spot, and then they leave all together. And then when they get back to the house, the parents go in their house and dad takes the kid and goes somewhere else. That's not how it works.
Mm.
Those grandparents are supposed to stay with them the whole time and supervise him. Make
Gotcha.
sure he doesn't do nitwitty things. So,
Oh, we got
go ahead, Mike.
We got Phil asking, how do you deal with Ring doorbells when they're asking you why you're there? I guess this is for the process serving stuff.
Oh man.
Has that changed things a lot with these Ring doorbells, John?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Well, it's 50-50. If they're honest, they'll still come to the door. Then I've actually had one where they guys just said, "Get off my property."
Interesting.
And you can't prove. The problem is you can't prove that they're there, because with the Ring doorbell, you can just pick up your phone and answer.
Right.
The door.
Right. Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's either
Do you have to tell them why you're there?
I do, because I'm on somebody's property.
Yeah, I gotcha. How about you, Gary? What do you do?
Well, a lot of times I'll just tell them, "Hey, I got a delivery here for you," and they'll say, "Can you just leave it at the door?" And I said, "No, I can't. I have to give it to you." And if they push the issue, I'll tell them, "I have legal papers for you that have to be delivered to you." And sometimes they will come to the door, and other times they'll say, "Well, I'm not home. Maybe can you come back later? I'll be home at 5 o'clock." But just the fact that they get your face, like you could be walking up the door and not realize they have it. Now they got your face. Like I don't particularly like that, but there's cameras everywhere today. But you kind of want to have the element of surprise.
Yes.
Yeah, so many people have those things now.
And then there's cameras everywhere. One guy, I was at a conference, an investigators conference. We were going over something. One tip, and this kind of stuck with me: always assume you're on video.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Yep.
You are currently on the air because, as I've often told people, it seems that
Your best time, the only time you get calls from your friends is while you're on the air.
Yeah, my closest friends and family members are the only ones who call me at the same time every single week on Thursday for the last however many years. So you are currently on the air. Everybody heard the comment that you just made. Don't say any curse words.
I can't talk then.
That's going to be quite the issue, isn't it?
Right.
Do you have a message for our loyal WFYL listeners? Now you're shy. Now you're shy, right? You're
now he's
the
gonna be
most
shy.
talkative person I've ever met. Usually, I can't get you to shut up.
Very true. I was trying to think of something witty to say, such as, like, I saved a ton of money switching my car insurance to Geico, but then Geico's not paying me to say that, so screw that. I got nothing.
It's true. Maybe we could send this over to Geico as a promo.
I do have a comment. How about John Fetterman? Whatever law school he went to, I think I need to rip up my law degree and my bar certifications in the various jurisdictions and go to wherever he went to law school, because, you know, the equal protection clause is totally about budget. Did you see this?
And I did not see this. This is news to me.
Oh, dear Lord. So, you know how his brain is destroyed from him having a bunch of stroke problems? No joke. I'm not making fun of him.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
unfortunately. I had to
Yeah,
work
yeah.
with the guy at the Board of Pardons, and, you know, decent dude.
So, you've seen how him attempting to show up half clothed or like in gym attire at the Senate, and then his incoherent ramblings keep making news.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yesterday he put up a tweet. You probably are sitting in front of a computer. Pull up the tweet.
That's a good idea.
Hold on.
It's out there tweeting, huh?
You know that everybody who's in the prisons who listen to our program, they're going to hear this over the airwaves.
In that case, they know who they are, and I hope they fight the good. They keep.
Russ, we're a
So-
little bit into the rogue hour. Take it into UFIL.
Yeah, I think we
Just
are.
so you get that. We need this message out there.
So, Tom Schotterware, this will be my contribution to your show.
Okay.
John Fetterman, in all his coherent legal wisdom, just put out a tweet, and I hope you're going to supplement or cite this, talking about those dirty Republicans. No, they don't want to help people, and that he referenced equal protection clause. Why? Because it was all about debt, not equal protection, not about ending slavery and elevating African Americans. Debt. Now, cue Mike G reading the tweet. Go.
Did he perhaps take it down? Because I'm looking at his page. It says May 18th. Oh, does he have two different pages, perhaps?
He's a liar, or actually, maybe he has different.
Oh, yeah, no, maybe there's like an official page. Hours.
I doesn't know how many he has.
No, did he take it down?
There's got to be a
Some
copy.
scrolls.
of
Hold on one
it,
second.
I think,
Since this is good radio, I'm going to look it up while I'm talking to you.
There
Yeah,
we go.
no, this is perfect. Somebody's got it.
Okay, well, to all those listeners out in Radio Land, apparently I'm terrible at being on the radio. Terribly smart and funny. Check your
There you
phone.
go.
That's one way to put it. Oh, you got it on my phone.
Was it about the Second Amendment or something?
My mom's still sitting next to me.
Oh yeah,
She's-
get mom on. Tell her to come on and tell everybody hello over the airwaves.
You really want to?
Yeah, why not?
You want to say hi?
Yeah.
Just tell them I said hi.
No,
just on the
tell
air.
her she's got to come on the air. We
You
need
can
her on
hear
the
her.
air.
Yeah.
She says hello.
She doesn't want to be on the airwaves.
Come on now. Who else is calling you, Mike?
How much longer are you going to be in
I'm going to be on the air for a little while longer. I'm not seeing this. Whole reason for the 14th Amendment is to be used during debt negotiations. That's what I'm seeing. Some reason not letting
That's- It's the Equal Protection Clause.
Right,
Hmm.
right.
What in the hell does equal protection have to do with debt? Nothing. This is more,
Okay, here's the
this
tweet. The
either
tweet is the whole
stupidity-
reason why the 14th Amendment exists, and we need to be prepared to use it. We cannot let these reckless Republicans hold the economy hostage. Interesting.
Okay. Okay.
How do we get there? Please show your work.
You can carry over the
Look, I
line.
came to get gas, and you're giving me pumpkins.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to give you a shot when I get off the air. Tell mom
Okay,
I'm
I'll
very
talk to you.
disappointed.
I'll talk to you, dude.
All right. See you.
Bye, listeners.
Peace and love.
I told him I was going to do that next time it happens because it happens all the time.
Yeah. People.
I'm guilty
that
as
to me, too.
charged.
Yeah, John is guilty as charged. That's how 2-week-old news actually started. You called me while I was on the air and
To
gave
bring
me
up a
2-week-old news.
Right.
Yeah, I brought up a
I-
gun case in Ohio, how Ohio is now constitutional carry.
Mm.
Yeah,
Apparently
you said,
that
"Did
happened
you
2
know
weeks beforehand.
Ohio's now a constitutional carry?" I said, "Get out of here." And you said, "Yeah," but apparently it happened 2 weeks ago. So you called me up with this breaking 2-week-old news, and everybody
Hilarious.
loved it.
Hey now, Dagnabbit. Hey now.
Yeah. Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Did I interrupt anything, or did our
No,
guest who interrupt anything?
I don't think so. It's your show.
I
You can
forget
do
what
whatever
we
you
were
want.
talking about.
I think we were still talking a little bit to John and Gary about some of the process serve stuff, and then you got the call, if I remember correctly, right? Something like that. Oh, the Ring
Yeah.
doorbell stuff, maybe.
Yeah, we were talking
Yeah.
about the Ring doorbell
Yeah.
stuff.
They are everywhere now. Yeah. I guess
dread
the
every
only
time I see one.
I guess the only good thing about those is, I guess it would, you don't know anything, but it's a higher likelihood that they're not going to do anything stupid or violent because they also know they're on camera.
That's true.
So, but chances of them opening that door are probably a lot lower. Yeah.
Sometimes they won't answer at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Cool.
I think that was a fun conversation. Thank you both for joining us.
Yeah, it was awesome.
No problem.
That was great.
Appreciate it. And come back on again soon. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, gentlemen. Anything else? Any last words you want to say?
Hey now.
Hey now.
There you go. Love it. How about you, Definitive? Man, a few words.
Hey, I'm here. I got a phone call. I got to get going shortly, but if you could check out the YouTube channel, it's got some pretty interesting stuff on it.
Perfect. We'll tell everybody to check it out.
Definitive
Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, Philly Chris can fill you in on some of the details of the channel. I've been going down to Kensington and filming the crazy activities that are going down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
it's wild
check it out
stuff.
if you're into that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
It reminds me of that. I don't know if you've ever heard of the show The Wire from back in the 2000s. They had this place in season 3 called Hamsterdam.
Oh, okay.
It reminds me of a lot of Kensington. Real life Hamsterdam.
Oh, yeah.
Hamsterdam.
Watch
Real
The
life
Wire
Hamsterdam.
season 3. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Basically, this police commission. Well, I believe it was a captain. His district was high in crime. They're pressured to lower their stats, so he moved all the drug dealers and the addicts to little sections of his district, leaving his other district safe. But they had almost full impunity if they did their dealing and their use in these little pockets that were known as Hamsterdam.
Funny. Hamsterdam. Check it out.
Great. All right.
But
All right.
That would be
Yeah,
All right,
check
guys.
it out.
Thanks for having me, and I'll catch up with you on the flip side.
Peace and
always
love.
All
a
right.
pleasure.
Take care.
Always a pleasure
How-
to be on here.
How about you, John? Any last words?
Always a pleasure to be on here.
Awesome. Good stories, guys.
Pleasure to be here. Yeah,
Peace
thank
and
you.
Love everybody. Yeah.
Appreciate it. We'll catch you later.
All righty. Thank you.
So, do we have anything else for the good of the order?
Did we want to play that video, the Kensington one, or some of it? Or
Is it queued up where our quasi producer?
I did put
Can
the
you show
thing
it?
in the doc. Maybe we can play part of it tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, why don't you play like 2 minutes and then we'll do it
Yeah,
next week.
that's a
And
good
for our
idea.
listeners, if you can think of anybody who's interesting who belongs in the program, I don't care if there's somebody who's regularly on television or radio or anything like that. But if they're interesting, we'll get them on the show.
Yeah. Let us know.
know.
We'll make some calls. Yeah.
Let us know. If there's a topic you want to hear about, let us know. That's what we're here for.
Also, like and subscribe and smash.
So is
that-
Russ right now in the process of Googling the video that you made?
I think he's
in order to
researching
get it?
keyboards actually, so he can.
He's
type in-
researching keyboards. I thought he
Yeah.
just goes to the keyboard store. Couldn't the person at the keyboard store just get
That's
him
what he
set up?
does. I did put a link in there and tried to label it. Yeah, we'll play a little bit of it.
Yeah,
then
why
maybe
would you
tune
want to
in.
have that ready ahead of time or anything, right?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
it's not that like he's a producer or anything.
No.
Yeah. We'll have a new announcement soon, maybe new, Well, I won't get into it.
I couldn't tell you why there are two because I didn't discuss this with him ahead of time. But here would be my educated guess is that you'll start by clicking on one and right? I don't know. Call me crazy. Just a wild guess.
I'm a little confused. I mean, I know I'm the one that typed it in there and all, but I think you're right, Mike. I'm not sure.
Do we start with one?
I think so, unless because 2 is bigger than 1, maybe you start with 2. I don't know.
Oh,
You're the lawyer, so I'll let maybe Mike's right on this one. I'm going to go with whatever Mike said. I typed it in, had full intentions of ordering them from top to bottom, 1 to 2, in the direction we'd probably play them. But since you asked a question, I kind of forgot. Yeah.
Russ says, geez, I can't count. You guys are going to have to do this on your own. Oh,
Did you lose your microphone too, buddy? What happened?
Yeah, I lost his microphone.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to check out the full-length video, tune in next week. Also, you can go to the Definislande site where it happens to already be loaded. I'll probably get it up on the Mike G in the Morning show as well as a copy. I happen to be going over to meet Gary, and Kensington is sort of on the way over to Definislande, and this particular situation just kind of happened. So thought we'd play it a little bit, give you a little update on what's going on here in Philly.
And just to be clear, so there's a link that says link number 1. And so we would click on that to see the video, right?
I think that actually, I have no idea.
When you're using the mouse, which side do you click in order to pull up the video that you're requesting?
You want to flip it over and stare into the laser beam.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's like, yeah, that's what works. Yeah. You can control it with your eye movement. Try that, Russ.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's difficult. Maybe you could write a book on this. Or something. Do they maybe teach classes?
I'm going to set up a seminar actually for next week. I'll post it on the Mike G in the Morning website. It'll only be $10. So you get $20 back for attending.
So Producer School 101 is have the document with the links available.
Yeah.
Ahead of time.
Right.
And then you click on, when they ask you to show a video, you click on the link number 1, right?
Number 1.
That's how you'd start.
Should I make that the first slide in the presentation for the training, or
you might be tempted to complain and question why there are 2 links, one labeled number 1 and the other labeled number 2. I know it's going to be totally confusing.
It's very difficult.
But maintain your composure, be a professional, and click number 1. He says, yeah, ahead of time is a concept I'm not familiar with.
We know.
Well, you didn't have to share that.
We know all about that. Yeah.
We figured that one out. We don't need a seminar for that one. We figured that one out.
Listeners know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Thanks for showing up, though.
Incredibly helpful.
Right.
By helpful, I mean not at all.
So yeah, I happened to pull over just to make a phone call. And this was kind of like right on the edge of northern Kensington. And happened to notice this individual in the corner here who's starting to approach over the vehicle, and all kind of just happened. But I thought her message was pretty interesting as she gets closer to the car here.
How'd you start the conversation?
Hey, how you doing?
She kind of started it.
You okay? Oh yeah, I'm good. I was just.
How's your day?
Oh, pretty good. How's your day?
Hungry as hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't ate. I'm not trying to put my problems on you because you actually like food now.
Yeah, no worries.
Days with my addiction, but I'm not getting high right now. I don't have any anxiety for it right now. I'm just really hungry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I'm sorry you're going through a rough time. I can give you a couple bucks if you want, if that
You
helps.
don't owe me anything.
What's that?
You don't owe me anything. Were you looking for a girl?
Oh, I'm okay, actually. But, you know, if you want a couple bucks just to grab some food or something.
Were you looking for a girl?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, though.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't do that?
No, I appreciate it, though.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, it's okay. Does that help you out?
Whoa.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. No trouble,
Yeah.
no drama.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
that's good.
I'm not like that. Even in my midst of my, being homeless, I gotta realize that it's a decision I can change and that I made, that I got myself here because my addiction,
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't all my fault. The addiction played a good
All right,
part
kill
in
it, Russ. Kill it, Russ.
Hey.
Kill it, Russ. We'll do the
Yeah.
rest next week. We'll do the rest next
All
week.
right. Yeah. Let's do the rest next week.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I love how you get the same question 3 or 4 times. You want a girl followed by, "Oh, I don't do that anyway." Yeah, very good, Chris. I was just testing you.
Yeah. Right. You said it, didn't you? I was like, damn it. Why is the camera rolling on this one?
So, yeah, if it was faced towards Chris, he'd be saying, "No, I'm all right."
Yeah.
He's
Right.
shaking up his head. No, I'm all right. You're around the corner.
Right. Hold on. Can I shut my phone off here?
Phil says the proprietor of the cigar shop I'm sitting in says you need to visit him. I will certainly make plans to visit very soon and kiss the ring. I always pay my respects when I'm in town.
Sounds good.
Disrespect the boss. Chris has seen it.
Oh,
We've
I've
been
seen
over
it.
that cigar shop where I go over and
I should mention it, but I've been in a few of the back rooms with you. I don't know if I should say that out loud, but
yes,
Mm.
that is true. That is true. Oh, he would be a great guest on the program.
Yeah,
I
we
wonder
should.
if he'd ever agree to do that. Phil, you and the proprietor are invited to join us on the program sometime if you two dare. We're just talking about, get any interesting folks on the program. They're certainly interesting folks. Types of characters you like to hang out with,
That's right. Cool shirt here. Mike let me borrow from Stax Farmstead there. I like the shirt.
Stacks Farmstead.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen,
Stacks
the
Farmstead
Stax
shirts. Everybody
Farmstead.
should order their Stacks Farmstead shirts.
Yeah.
Order your Stacks Farmstead shirts.
LOL,
DG says, I love
Denise.
Philly Chris is talking to a girl.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Hmm.
Every now and then it happens, Every now and then. Usually on the streets of Kensington, though, yeah.
That was the first time in years, right?
Yeah, it's been a little while, I'm usually with Russ. We usually have the weekends with our Hot Pockets and stuff, yeah. I'll bring my keyboard over this weekend, Russ.
Yeah, why don't you finish explaining about the keyboard, Russ? Everybody's dying to hear it.
Yes, she did, Liberty. She did offer that. She did.
Russ.
I think Russ left.
Russ left.
No, I had to plug in my mic.
Oh, yeah, just doing a show and all. Let's unplug our mics.
Hey,
Hang on, Mike. I'm going to unplug my mic now.
Well, this may come as a surprise to you guys, but I'm not a host, so I don't really need to have my mic plugged.
Well, that does surprise.
Oh, you haven't been involved in the conversation in this program for the last several years every week. That's all, right?
Not
I don't know.
Not unless I was catapulted in it by you.
I'm not any expert on radio programs or anything.
Believe me,
if I were, I think that one of the pretty high things on the priority list would be having your microphone plugged in. That's
or muted in that case.
I didn't go to school for this though, so I'm kind of
that's- well,
guessing.
Neither did I.
You're probably wrong, Mike.
Guessing process of
I've only
elimination.
been doing it for 10 years, though.
Get back to lawyering.
And you
with your
still
mic.
haven't figured out that you need your microphone plugged in during a radio show.
No, I'm the producer, not a host, Mike.
Oh, you're far better at being a producer than than an on-air personality. You're right, Ross.
Compared to how boring keyboards are, yeah.
I don't know. It was a highlight of my night.
Yeah,
You have a very boring life then.
Oh, yeah.
Scott wants to know what's the definition of a girl.
Well, Scott, nobody knows really. It's really whatever you want it to be, whenever you want it to be, however you want it to be, at any time.
So when she was asking, do you need a girl? You should have asked her, you're going to have to be more specific. You said no right away.
Well,
right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she was just trying to find out if I was single. I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe I'm not really sure.
You
Exactly.
should have been like, well, what exactly is a girl? Right? The question is,
Yeah.
what is a girl?
Are you a girl?
How do you define girl? It depends. Hey, Slick Willie, we need you to say it depends on what your definition of the word girl is.
Right.
Depends on what the definition of the word girl is.
See, this is why we keep you around, Russ.
Hey, excuse me.
Sure it is.
Hey, is Slick Willie, you want a girl?
Depends on what your definition of the word girl is.
Oh, don't give me that, Slick Willie. You always want a girl, don't you?
Absolutely. Interns are my favorite.
You have a hard time staying away, don't you?
As long as they're wearing a dress, I have a hard time staying away.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a girl as long as they're wearing a dress.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a girl as long as they got a pulse.
I think Hillary once described it, said that Bill's a tough dog to keep on the porch. I think
that's awesome if she said that.
She definitely said that.
Did she really? Wow.
I couldn't have made that up in my head.
No,
right?
that's a tough one to make up.
It's
I
too
like
specific
it.
to
It is
make
pretty-
up in your head.
It's pretty specific. I used to love when he would go jogging with like the Secret Service and end up at McDonald's.
Oh, really? I don't recall that.
Excuse me, can I get a number 2 meal, please?
Can I
How
get
did-
a Big Mac? Can I get some fries with that shake?
Yeah. Oh man.
What do you? We should do that one day. We should make a video of him going to all different fast food joints and going through the drive-through as Slick Willie.
That
What do
we
you
have
think
to
of
do. That would probably do well online, and we would just have fun doing it. Yeah, I owe Russ lunch actually, so maybe we should get together next week, Russ. I still owe you that lunch for when you got that one video done very quickly for me, which I do appreciate.
I told you I'm a producer.
Yeah, you did produce some stuff. Yeah, so maybe next week we'll get together. We can do that and surprise Mike and Liberty. Unless you want to be there, Mike.
I produced something once.
Yeah.
Randy wants to know, how do you get the Gun Law Firm T-shirt? Working on it.
Hmm.
We will let you know shortly. All right. Anything else for the good of the order?
I'm
I
good,
think
brother.
we got some good momentum going into next week. As far as this video, I'm curious to see the rest of it.
Yeah, tune in next week. To see
Yeah.
if Chris gets
Opened up strong, huh?
It did open. It had a strong opening.
Quite a
Yeah.
bit of information. So what are the three? What are your top 3 takeaways from the portion that we just watched? We'll start with you, Russ, because Chris is obviously familiar with the videos. He lived it. He was there.
What?
Watched it. The video that we just watched. What are your top 3 takeaways? Because there are 3 things that stick out in my mind right away.
My top 3 takeaways.
Yeah, from that video that.
What are
we
your
just watched.
thoughts on the beginning of the video?
Well, it was just you driving in the beginning.
So that's not quite remarkable. So pick 3 other things.
Okay.
in the car.
If I'm gonna pull over to make a phone call, I'm not putting down the window for a stranger. In
Oh, come
fact,
on.
I'd probably not pull over next to a stranger
Mm.
because I'm just not a people person.
You say.
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm the guy who parks on the far side of the parking lot to avoid people.
First thing is she opens up with like TMI, right? She's talking about a whole bunch of personal stuff, including, she hasn't eaten in a while and everything like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
And then the, you need a girl thing is very obvious, but she
Yeah.
also talks about addiction. I wonder if at the beginning that she think that you were a cop at the beginning.
I don't know. I guess not, because she went pretty quickly right into the whole, offering of whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
You
But,
know?
but she's asking you okay,
Yeah, maybe that's. Oh yeah, I didn't
She's
think
like
of that.
sniffing you out, feeling you
Maybe
out.
yeah. Plus, she said, you don't owe me, which I thought was nice because I offered her the, $5, whatever, since she said she was hungry, and try to help out when I can, when I know, pretty good sense that she's legitimately in need. But and then she was like, "Well, you don't owe me." I mean, I thought that was cool because not too many of them when you offer
Yeah,
them
well,
stuff.
she said you don't owe me, and then quickly offered compensation.
Yeah, they're right.
Illicit
right.
compensation.
Right. Yeah, $5. Hey, now.
Wild.
I can
Wild.
say, definitely try to tune in next week because I found I won't get too much into it, but what she talks about and what she says left me really thinking about it for several days, so it's quite compelling. And I feel for the people over there. It's a rough place to be, and it's only getting worse. Unfortunately, it's spreading out, getting a lot worse. So.
Rita says, I have a person in mind to be a guest that would knock your socks off.
Oh,
you'd have to have them on multiple times because of everything she has been through.
Okay.
Chris, why don't you give Rita a call on that?
I absolutely will. I've been meaning to catch up with her anyway, so I will catch up with you, Rita, off air, and we'll coordinate that. Thank you.
Am I missing anything else? I haven't looked at this private. Russ says everybody thinks Chris is a cop. Instead of typing that in the private chat, why wouldn't you say it out loud or type it in the regular
His
chat?
mic was probably unplugged again.
What's so secret about everyone thinks Chris is a cop?
It's not a secret.
I guess the next thing you said is not air friendly.
Yeah, there's
funny now. That is one of the funnier comments that I've seen from you. That
is pretty good.
funny.
Yeah. We can make a shirt out of that
we
one.
could say that on the air. Oh, a t-shirt with that on. Oh man,
it might sell actually.
Man.
Yeah.
Our listeners have no idea what we're talking about right now.
Right.
I wonder if we could do some kind of a contest where we can tell listeners
See if they
about
can,
that.
They can guess, yeah.
Yeah, see if they could get. Nobody's guessing that one. I hate how Russ's greatest comment of all time is something that's
he didn't say live on the show.
Too well, it's too provocative.
I guess that one he probably was better off typing. Yeah.
You can't say it. Yeah,
you might be able to say it, but I don't know. I guess.
I think I would be able to.
I guess what if you replaced the last word with girl? Because we had that whole conversation about you want a girl, right? That's clearly what's been said.
Right.
I'm not entirely sure what one is, though.
So, Russ, why don't you replace the last word with girl, and that'll close the show.
Yeah.
Give us your comment.
Oh, okay. Kensington, home of the $5.
No. It's got to be in the slick. It's got to be the Slick Willie voice.
Oh, okay. You didn't say that part. Kensington, home of the $5 girl.
Do it again. We can make like a loop. We got to get a soundboard. We got to do a soundboard where you can just press a button and it says that. What do you think?
That would be good. We'll go. All right, ready, Russ? 3, 2, 1, action.
Kensington, home of the $5 girl. I hesitated because I was looking at it. I'm like, wait, I can't say that.
The $5 Lewinsky. Do that one.
Oh my goodness.
Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Kensington, home of the $5 Lewinsky.
Lewinsky special.
That works.
Lewinsky special for $5.
That's pretty descriptive, yeah.
You show up next time, she's got like a menu. It's like the Lewinsky is $5.
Welcome to Lewinsky's.
Hey, look at number 6. You get to keep the dress.
That's terrible.
That's all the time we got for today. Stick around for We the People, the Constitution Matters. Pastor David, wait, no, Russ, are we off this week? Do I still have to do an outro?
We are not on this week. Well, okay. We the People is still coming up after your show, but it's a week.
All right, I'll run it again. That's all time we got for today. Stick around for We the People, the Constitution Matters. Pastor David Whitney, Professor Phil Duffy. I'll be joining as your legal analyst. We miss you, Ellie. Daddy loves you.